The Sixth Sense came out 20 years ago, and here at Geek Bomb, we can't believe it's been that long. It seems like only yesterday that an 11-year-old Haley Joel Osment charmed us all as the boy who could see dead people. If you don't remember the plot of the movie, it has been a long time after all. It centers around Cole Sear, played by Haley Joel Osment, who is haunted by the fact that he sees the spirits of dead people who have unresolved problems. The only person that he'll talk to about this is his therapist, Dr. Malcolm Crowe, who's played by Bruce Willis. And then boom! It turns out that his therapist has been dead the entire time. It was one of the biggest plot twists in the history of movies, and it left us all completely flabbergasted. However, The Sixth Sense isn't the only movie with a twist. Geek Bomb's got you covered with our list of some of the best movie twists of all time, besides The Sixth Sense, that is. Coming in at number 4 is Gone Girl, starring Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike as the seemingly happy couple Nick and Amy. On their 5th anniversary, Amy goes missing and her husband Nick is the prime suspect. For most of the movie, I'm sitting there thinking that either he's innocent and someone else kidnapped her, or he actually murdered her. But nope, it was neither of those. Turns out she faked her entire disappearance to frame him because he was cheating on her. This was actually adapted from a novel, so if you read it, you probably weren't surprised. But for someone like me who was just jumping in on the movie, it was quite a twist. Number 3 is Shutter Island, directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Leonardo DiCaprio as U.S. Marshal Teddy Daniels. Daniels is in a hospital for the criminally insane, investigating the disappearance of a murderer who was a patient there. As the movie goes along, you start to really feel for DiCaprio's character after finding out that his wife was killed by an arsonist named Andrew Laeddis. And then, out of nowhere, the movie does a complete 180 on you as you find out that Daniels is actually Andrew Laeddis, a patient at the hospital. Oh, and it turns out that he was the one who killed his wife, who was manic depressive, but that's only after she drowned their children. The heartbreaking ending was a complete trip that left me sitting there with my mouth open going, what? Number 2 has to be Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club, but we're gonna break that rule and talk about it because, duh. I could never have guessed that Tyler Durden was actually Edward Norton. You spend the entire movie thinking that the unnamed narrator, who's played by Edward Norton, meets a traveling soap salesman and starts an underground fight club with him to help escape their mundane and unfulfilling lives. It makes sense, and it's one wild ride. And then you get to the end and are shown that Tyler and the narrator are one and the same, and suddenly it is a completely different movie. Fight Club is one of those movies that even once you know the ending, it's still a great movie. Number 1 on our list is The Others, starring Nicole Kidman. It is very similar to The Sixth Sense, but it is just so good, and it still totally got me. It starts out like a typical scary movie where a family is being haunted by ghosts, and you're just there to enjoy it. Nicole Kidman plays a mom with her 2 children, Anne and Nicholas, who have a rare photosensitivity disease that makes it so they can never see sunlight. The pacing is great. The movie starts slow and lets you get to know the characters before moving on to the hauntings. And then all of a sudden, wham! It hits you with the fact that they are actually the ones doing the haunting and have been dead the whole time. It's interesting though that once they find out and start to come to terms with the fact that they are actually dead, they promise to scare anyone away and maintain that the house is theirs. So now we know why ghosts haunt houses. They want us to get out so they can live there. Those are our top 5 movies with a twist. Let us know which ones are your favorites in the comments below and which ones you'd add to our list. Follow us on all social media at Geek Bomb and help support our Patreon so we can keep making creepy geeky content.